I am excited. This guy is someone who knows his stuff when it comes to every sort of movie. The Marvel universe, the DC universe, the subtitle universe, the weird French film, the odd Korean film, the Japanese sequel film, the prequels. Doesn't matter what it is. He's on top of it. He comes and goes on a rainbow. The great culture blaster, Michael Snyder, everyone. Hi,
Hey,
Michael.
yeah, I'm still here. No, I'm back. Let's put it that way. Hi, Kim. Hi, Albert. And Tony, I know you're out there somewhere. Mark, as you know, I regularly tune into the show in addition to being a weekly contributor. And I was fascinated and troubled by your conversation earlier today with Nathan Taylor about election fraud. It made me long for those more innocent days when Stormy Daniels accused Donald Trump of erection fraud. Those were the good old
election
days.
erection.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
I'm working the B material this morning. It's like saying Christy Nome's favorite song, Ice Ice Baby. What else?
Yeah.
Anyway, we should get to the movies because we have a whole slew of them. What do you say, buddy?
Get to it, kid. Go for it.
Okay, I don't want to damn director Ron Howard's Eden with faint praise when I say that this adventure yarn.
Hang on a second. Hold on a second.
See,
Albert or Kim, why are there none of his movies listed in the rundown? I make notes so that I can recapitulate at the end, like a review.
right.
And I do that. It's made much easier if the basic bones of the. Sorry, Michael, but
All of this was sent to you guys in the dark of night.
The same thing happened last week, which is why I have to draw this to your attention. I just don't
fine.
understand. I don't understand.
It is there
why.
now. Yes.
Okay.
We're burning up valuable time doing this, but yes, I get it.
Would you like to apologize for what you've done?
All right.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Michael.
So
Now, let's start again so you can cut this part out.
Ron Howard's Eden, right? It's a new film by the director, Ron Howard. And, it seems like I might be quibbling about this adventure yarn, which is, by the way, based on actual people and events, by saying it's one of the better movies by Howard that I've seen in a while, because, he is, after all, the guy who directed Splash, Apollo 13, A Beautiful Mind, The Da Vinci Code, but his more recent output has been spotty at best. Eden, on the other hand, felt like a return to form, although not your typical feel-good populist Howard project. It's essentially, as I noted, a true story that was previously unknown to me, and it's kind of a jaw-dropper, so I was really happy to be enlightened. So get ready. Eden concerns a handful of people who, in the early 1930s, voyaged to an uninhabited island in the extremely isolated Galapagos chain to escape society and live in a supposed utopia.
Oh, yeah, I've read about this. This is a fascinating story. Go ahead.
It is. But paradise isn't easily found in such an unforgiving location, right? I mean, trouble ensues. The main cast is totally A-list. Jude Law plays writer and philosopher Friedrich Ritter, who decides to leave a volatile Germany with the Third Reich on the rise and find peace in this distant place. Vanessa Kirby, most recently Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four film, is Ritter's devoted partner and acolyte, Dory Strach. She's a true back-to-nature type who is suffering from a debilitating neurological disorder, and she seeks a place to kind of find herself and maybe heal herself. Daniel Brühl, the terrific German actor, plays Heinz Wittmer, who came to the island with his young wife and his son by his first marriage after being inspired by Ritter's dispatches that appeared in German newspapers. Sydney Sweeney, of all actresses, is Heinz's wife, Margaret, and the lovely Ana de Armas plays a veritable ticking bombshell, the Baroness Eloise Verborn de Wagner-Bosquet. She's a scheming socialite who shows up on the island with her servile entourage. Are you ready? Her two male lovers and a third man she's brought along to manage a resort hotel that she plans to erect there. This is kind of nuts. And I got to say, it was gratifying to watch these top-notch players. And, despite her good work on other dramatic roles, which she's done, I was kind of surprised by the standout performance from Sweeney in kind of an anti-glamour, even a dowdy part, playing Margaret. This is beautifully shot in a wild location. Eden is an intriguing survival tale, as you can imagine, considering that the public knew about these willing castaways, and they would have occasional visitors when a ship would deliver correspondence from the outside world. This wrenching, enveloping narrative, the island dwellers' struggle against the elements and each other, is made all the more compelling by the truth of the story that's dramatized on screen. Eden is in theaters.
I'm anxious to see it, only because I know the story. I'm pretty familiar with it. I've read about it. I think there have been podcasts about it. And I'm anxious to see how Howard plays it out. And I'm encouraged by the fact that you feel like this is a return to Howard's form a bit.
Right. And yet it's not the kind of movie you expect from him. And I also want to point out that it's getting mixed reviews, but screw those other people. Anyway.
Okay, what else you have?
And other people like the next movie more than I did. Relay is a contemporary thriller about a New York City fixer who helps people, mostly corporate types, who have gotten in trouble for acting against the interests of their employers. So Riz Ahmed plays Tom, a fixer whose means of communication with those hiring him is a unique and discreet messaging service, which is probably meant to distinguish him and Relay itself from previous movies of this ilk. Let me make clear that Relay is not bad at all. In fact, it kept me caught up in its twists and turns, but as it proceeded, I felt like it wasn't as good as I initially thought it was. You know, it just...
It didn't pay off.
It does, but anyway, by the time it got to some late in the game revelations, I had this sense of diminishing returns, and it expended a lot of effort to get there, right? So Ahmed's co-star is Lily James, Lady Rose from Downton Abbey, Pamela Anderson and Pam and Tommy, and she's been in a number of things. She's very talented and very versatile. And here she plays a client who has decided to back off from bringing down the company she worked for, and to show her contrition, safely return some purloined, incriminating documents via Ahmed. Okay, so far so good, until Relay gets a little murkier and a little repetitive. The rest of the cast includes Sam Worthington and Willa Fitzgerald as Ahmed's main adversaries, as he tries to extricate James's character from the danger she's brought on herself as a whistleblower. Worthington is usually solid. He is here. And Fitzgerald was so fantastic in last year's stunning noir thriller, Strange Darling. It's kind of a shame they're given, kind of feckless cookie-cutter roles here. David Mackenzie, who directed the totally cool neo-Western heist Hell or High Water, does what he can with Justin Piasecki's circuitous script. Relay was, at best, okay. It's in select theaters. Again, this is one of those not terrible Michael Snyder, the Mark Thompson show.
Feckless, circuitous, extricate, murkier, purloined for sure is a ding word.
Please spare me.
But here is the one he started with. Servile is a definite ding word. Yes.
Yeah, that's actually a review ago, but thank you for remembering.
No, it was a review ago, but I jot them down so as not to throw us off.
Yes, only to slow things up. Ethan Cohn.
I love it when Albert and I are doing echoing ding words. Go ahead.
Ethan Cohn of the celebrated fraternal screenwriting and directing duo, the Coen Brothers, directed and co-wrote the script for the crime comedy Honey Don't. Sounds promising, right? But it wasn't co-written with his brother, Joel. Here's the setup. Sexy lipstick lesbian private investigator. I know you're perked up when you hear that. Honey O'Donoghue lives and works in the California desert town of Bakersfield and finds herself confronting some dead bodies that may or may not be related to the greedy machinations of the oversexed spiritual leader of a local evangelical church. Action and quips are in offing. I wanted to like it, and I will say it's a bit better than Drive Away Dolls, the first movie in what Ethan and his wife, Tricia Cook, and his co-author of the script, say is going to be part of a comedic lesbian noir trilogy. By the way, Ethan and Tricia are apparently in a non-traditional marriage. That's what they call it. I just thought I'd throw that little...
in real life, the director, Ethan.
Little tidbit there.
Yeah.
So Honey Don't is the second of those lesbian noir movies, and I think it's kind of a step up from Drive Away Dolls because the mystery that Honey is trying to solve keeps your attention, but much of Honey Don't seems forced, despite the efforts of a talented cast led by Margaret Qualley as Honey. She's wonderful. And it doesn't hurt that the movie also features Chris Evans as the evangelist of questionable morality, Aubrey Plaza as a sullen local cop, and Charlie Day as a Bakersfield police detective with a fruitless crush on Honey. She's not going to go for you, dude. Just relax. As much fizz as Quali provides, and she is far and away the best thing about the movie. Honey Don't is often as flat and arid as Bakersfield itself.
Oh, I love that. That's the writer in you. I love it when you say stuff like that.
The isolated moments of verve, mostly courtesy of the magnetic Quali, and the occasional witty jape aside, this is a disappointment, especially considering its pedigree. If you expect this to be anywhere near as good as a Coen Brothers movie, Honey Don't. Anyway,
I get what you did. Very well done.
It's in theaters. Oh, God, I was so hoping it was going to be better than it was.
So Margaret Qualley is the...
she's the main squeeze here. She's wonderful. And I just saw her in a movie that isn't going to be out for a few weeks yet where she was absolutely a knockout. And we'll get to that movie when it's
time.
In the offing.
What else do you have?
Coming from the filmmaking team of Michael Angelo Covino and Kyle Marvin, these are not big names, but they're the guys that did the uncomfortably funny comedy The Climb a few years back. Splitsville is even funnier and a little more twisted in a jaundiced look at the competitive to toxic relationship between two men who have known one another for a while. And as was the case with The Climb, Covino directs a script that he co-wrote with Marvin, and they co-star as the male leads, but they've taken a step up on the casting front as the guys are paired with a couple of actresses who have serious heat right now. Dakota Johnson and Adria Arjona. By the way, is it Adria Arjona or Ana de Armas? I can never tell. I've got to look at the cast list. But that said, an increasingly tangled web is woven when Ashley, played by Arjona, expresses her dissatisfaction with her marriage to easygoing good guy Carrie, played by Marvin, and she requests a divorce. So Marvin's character seeks solace, and so he turns to his smug longtime pal Paul, played by Covino, and to Paul's winsome wife Julie, played by Johnson. So staying with Paul and Julie at their waterfront home, Carrie finds out that they're in an open marriage and decides to try his luck with Julie when Paul is away. Oh my God.
Wow.
Genuine hilarity comes to the fore here. Carrie's unexpected reaction to Ashley's parade of lovers is a particular hoot. Covino and Marvin, they're not Hope and Crosby or Martin and Lewis, but they have the chemistry of a top-notch comedy team and are as good at scathing banter as they are at slapstick. That's right, there is slapstick in this movie. There is one knockout brawl between them that I almost couldn't believe I was seeing on screen. And by the way, I got to say, Dakota Johnson and Adria Arjona give as good as they get on the comedy front as they interact with the guys. Splitsville has plenty to say about love, loyalty, the perils and benefits of monogamy, and the adage that the grass always seems greener in your neighbor's yard, and it is funny. It is in select theaters.
Wow. You liked it.
Man. I did.
Well, that was a really great little run, I have to say. Is there anything on television that you'd like to mention in the streaming world? I don't want you to feel at all shortchanged.
I do, but
would you prefer another movie to review, or would you prefer a TV recommendation at this juncture?
I'm going to give you what I would call shorts.
Okay.
There's a movie called Lurker, which I totally was blown away by. It's very, very smart, very dark, very on the money, and it is from the writer-producer Alex Russell. It's his movie directorial debut. He used to work on The Bear, or has worked on The Bear and Beef, and this is all about a lanky, introverted guy who works in a Los Angeles boutique and ingratiates himself with this swaggering pop singer, Oliver, who enters the shop, and then insinuates himself into Oliver's entourage. It is twisted in the very best way. It's kind of got a postmodern all about Eve thing going on as this guy becomes more and more important to the entourage, but he's clearly messed up. And it's all about celebrity obsession. It's all about the perils of fame. I thought it was very, very cool. It is also out this Friday today in limited release, and I thought it was great. And, I would be loath to not mention Eeny Meeny. It is a crazy, hyperactive, extremely watchable mix of off-the-wall heist film, gritty crime drama, and bad romance with Samara Weaving, who is pretty wonderful as Edie Meany, nicknamed Eeny. She's a badass getaway car driver who did this in her teens, but wants to get away from that former life, and she's in college, but she's forced to do one last job.
Oh, I see.
Because of the latest screw up by her scumbag ex-boyfriend, played by Carl Glusman. This is written and directed by Sean Simmons, and it features Andy Garcia as a crime boss, Steve Zahn as Dad Meany, Marshawn Lynch as another getaway driver, Randall Park, Mike O'Malley. I get the feeling everyone had a blast doing this, and it was infectious because, as disposable as it is, I had fun watching it. It's on Hulu. And finally, I'd beat myself up for not mentioning the documentary Devo, which is on Netflix. And it's hard to believe that this smart, sharp, funny Akron, Ohio-born rock band Devo has been around for 50 years. They combine Dadaist art concepts, politically and socially astute commentary, electronically jagged, deconstructed rock and roll. Their version of the Stones, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, is a marvel. And they have this darkly humorous look at humanity's progress and regress that is all too relevant in our own devolving here and now. It is directed by Chris Smith, and I thought it was great. Lots of archival footage, interview stuff with nominal leaders, Mark Mothersbaugh and Jerry Casale. And Mark, by the way, went on to a lot of fame as a composer for film and TV, and Jerry as a director of music videos and such. And I highly recommend this. And I ran into Mark this past Friday at his gallery.
Oh, wow. He's had a huge career since Devo.
Yes. Everything from Rugrats and Pee-wee's Big Adventure
to, as you say, major scoring of film.
To more recent stuff. And he is a wonderful guy. I've known the band for a long time, and he has a gallery called Mutmuz on Chungking Road in Los Angeles' Chinatown, and they're trying to revive the neighborhood after it was hit pretty hard by the pandemic. And I went to a gallery opening there for the works of the late Tomato Duplanty of the band Screamers, and Mark was there, and I had a great time with him. And coincidentally, this movie came out a few days later, and I highly recommend
You
Devo.
are a hipster doing your hipster stuff with Mark Mothersbaugh, and Devo is the movie that you recommend. It's a documentary. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Eeny Meeny is the crazy, hyperactive heist film on Hulu. You really like that?
I did.
Sounds like it was chock full of a lot of people we'll know.
It was fun and disposable, but fun.
Lurker, blown away by this dark film, says Michael Snyder of the Mark Thompson Show.
Super smart. Theodore Pellerin as Matthew, the leech, and Archie Madekwe from Saltburn as the pop star. Oh, gosh, it was amazing. It's called Lurker, and again, it's
Directed by Alex Russell, was it?
Yeah, the guy who worked on The Bear and Beef.
It's in limited release. Splitsville, Dakota Johnson, and Adria Arjona, right?
Adria Arjona, yeah.
Adria, you say Adria, I say Adria. She says Adria, so I think you're right. Anyway, you think it's funny. They went for funny, and they got funny.
Oh, yeah, and this is the kind of movie I hope people seek out. Splitsville, super smart, and you're like, what, as you're watching it.
It's called Splitsville again. Honey Don't is the Ethan Coen offering. It's a crime comedy, the second of the lesbian noir movies. Lipstick lesbian Margaret Qualley finds dead bodies, possibly related to this cult leader who's played by Chris Evans in a local church. Aubrey Plaza's in it. Charlie Day is in it.
God, I just wish it had been better, dude.
He said it was okay, but it just kind of leaves you wanting,
yeah.
wanting a rewrite. Maybe is what it was. Just one rewrite away from being something special, but not awful. Just not really that great.
I just thought, what a waste of talent.
Relay is the New York City Fixer film. It's about this New York City fixer. Riz Ahmed plays Tom. He's using a messaging service. Lily James plays the client. As I recall, it feels as though the review was like a half hour ago, but it was like I thought you kind of liked it.
It was okay, and again, not as disappointing as Honey Don't, but it's not something I'd ever watch again, and I can't really endorse it wholeheartedly.
Not as disappointing as Honey Don't,
unlike-
says Michael Snyder.
Unlike Eden, which I led off with, which I did think people should seek out.
Eden is the Ron Howard offering. It is an adventure, true story, the 1930s story of people seeking paradise in a far-off place, but stuff really goes sideways. I mean, it is, I know this story only because I'm familiar with it, but I'm really looking forward to the film. Jude Law, Vanessa Kirby, Daniel Brohl, the German actor, Sydney Sweeney. It is in theaters, and Michael liked it. Didn't feel like I was one of Ron Howard's very best, but he felt like this is a return to the good rhythm of Ron Howard movies that you like to see.
That is a fair and concise synopsis of my feelings.
Michael, I appreciate you giving of your time generously, coming in with your wild judgments about everything,
Including you, including you.
And film offerings. You can read Michael, and I feel sometimes he's better appreciated when you're reading him.
How dare you?
You can read him at thevoicesf.org. Thevoicesf.org. And he writes about things other than just movies and media.
But
he also writes about movies and media.
Yeah, this week it's about Alien Earth, the TV series I recommended last week.
I want to read about that, and I like just the way you write, so I'm going to enjoy that. He comes and goes on a rainbow. Bye-bye, Michael.
Bye-bye, everybody.